Hello and welcome to Chiefsman's Corner, the recorded version. I am your host, Coach Winuvas, one of the leadership team here in WFL and the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And today's going to be a little different than normal. Normally I have me a little script I read off of, go through my whole spiel of different housekeeping notes and all that good stuff and kind of refresh what the show is going to be about. But this is a little bit more of a riff episode, mainly because we don't have any games. We are currently finishing up our offseason after we've just finished out our preseason. We're currently cutting down to 53-man rosters in practice squad as of the writing of this particular, or as of the recording, of this particular episode. So we're kind of in a flux here. So some things we're going to talk about today. I'm going to have a big reveal after our Ask the Chief segment that I'll go over. So it's a little bit of a teaser to make you stick around. We will have an Ask the Chief segment. I have two questions. I have technically three questions, but two of them are the same question. So we'll answer them there in our Ask the Chief segment. But the first thing we're going to talk about is the big thing that happened over the offseason. That is the WFL draft. We had a good turnout for our live draft show that went a little bit longer than 3 rounds. We hosted for, I believe it was a little over an hour and a half, I think. About an hour and a half. And we had a lot of interactions. Appreciate everybody that participated in the show, especially Juke and Cole for hosting the show and let me kind of be a part of it. I appreciate everybody using the big board too. Apparently everybody, or a majority of you, were using the Buckman's big board. So I'm happy to see that it's helping out a lot of guys, especially new guys that are coming in that didn't have as knowledgeable spot on people to draft. Hopefully the big board did you some good as we move on into the into season 7 now of recorded WFL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our draft. As per Neon Sports, I'm going to start with our draft here. Let me blow this up a little bit. Ooh, that's too big. Well, that'll work. So, according to Neon Sports, and I'm not sure how it generates this draft grade, I'm not going to lie to you, but somehow, some way, the Cardinals had the number 2 pick in the number 2 ranked draft, according to Neon Sports. I'm guessing an average rating of 76 overall. I'm not sure how this score comes into play. I really don't know. But yeah, this is our top 10. Let me shrink that down a little bit so we can at least see. Top 10. Lions were ranked the best at 76.5. Cardinals at 76. I am going to go over the players themselves on this same setup, so don't fret if we're just kind of rotating through and you're not happy with where your team ranked. I don't know how this team ranking stuff is done. I don't participate in it as far as making it, so just nothing personal on anybody's picks, although it only ranks to pick 30, so I'm not sure where 31 and 32 are. But that kind of gives you an idea of how Neon Sports viewed our draft class. And now as we go in and we do a player search, we're going to do for rookies. And we're going to see as of right this second, and I do realize that some of these rookies did get some point increases from whenever they were drafted. But Keon Rowe leads the way with an 83 overall. The main reason his overall is inflated is 99 awareness and 99 play recognition. I looked whenever we were doing the draft, he popped into a top 5 guy. And the reason he's a top 5 guy is because of this stupidity right here, which is not Clyde's fault at all. He taking advantage of it, but I mean, this is stupid. This Madden needs to correct that stuff real bad. But anyway, that explains why Keon Rowe is such a high overall. If you look, as I pull him back up, make sure he's popped up on your screen. Yes, he is. You can see man coverage 78, which is solid, but zone coverage 68. Catching of 59, pursuit of 67. So his numbers overall aren't great except for his awareness and play recognition. So this is a guy that could potentially be a really good possible safety. Maybe a nickel slot back, maybe with 62 tackle, might be pushing a little bit, but a guy that could potentially be a starter in Clyde's secondary and possibly maybe a user, or maybe you just let the CPU user him with his 99 awareness and 99 play rec. Second would be Connor Woods. That's the guy I drafted 4th overall. He was a 77 overall, I believe, when I drafted him. Guy who I had kind of handpicked. Either him or Pierre Callahan were going to be the guys I was going to draft at number 4. I was going cornerback unless both of them went off the board. Luckily, only Dallas ruined my dreams a little bit by taking Pierre Callahan, who is 4th on this board as of rookies as far as overall rating. Solomon Weston is there as well. The problem with Solomon Weston, which I'll show you real quick, and Smash found this out the hard way, his injury rating is 47. He is made out of glass, so that's not a great thing. So basically, if this guy hits the field, he may just instantly break into pieces. So that being said, Armand Peake is 5th with a 77 overall. This is another guy I was targeting as well for the Cardinals. Didn't quite get a chance to get him. Nate Collins, Willie Watson, Gerard Flowers, Monty Sweat, Tashawn Aiken, another guy that looked really good. Roman Middleton, a guy I liked as well. And you can kind of see as I rotate through the top guys from this draft. So that kind of does it for our draft preview, I guess, or draft roundup, I guess would be a better way to put it. And with that, we're just going to kind of run into our Ask the Chief segment. This will probably not be a long show, just to let you know. The main thing is going to be the last thing I introduce here at the end. So that's where the enticement comes in as far as watching this. So hopefully it won't be too long of a video for you to watch. But as we flip over and we go to our Ask the Chief segment, I'm going to blow it up a little bit. If I remember how to blow it up. There we go. And as I bring it back up, here we go. So TJ Mack asks, he is concerned about my team for whatever reason. What are you most excited for this season when it comes to your Cardinals? I think what I'm most excited about is seeing Kyler Murray year 2. Kyler Murray year 1 was honestly a revelation. I did not anticipate him to do as well as he did. He rough patch early, getting used to him, and also the fact that the Cardinals had no defense. But Kyler Murray shined. I really tried to petition for him to be MVP candidate because without him, honestly, the Cardinals would have been at best 3 or 4 win team. He carried the team a lot of times as far as getting us to victories. Kyler Murray year 2 with a superstar dev trait upgrade. Could be fun to see him, and he's only 27 years old. My plan was, truthfully, I traded for Malik Willis, thinking that in year 1 I was going to Loomis Magic Kyler Murray or trade him, depending on what I could do legally. And then once I did one or the other, Malik Willis was going to become my starter. Now I have basically the best backup in the league in Malik Willis, who has got a future starter tag, so he's getting XP. He's a 71 overall now. And he's signed for 2 more years at a rookie deal. So I have really the best 2 quarterback tandem right now in the WFL. Now, I'm not saying the user's any good, but I think Murray and Willis, for what we do on offense, is the best tandem out there. So if something happens to Murray, I have complete faith that Malik Willis will handle the job acceptably. I think the other thing for me is the rookies. Specifically Connor Woods. I really want to shore up the secondary. I have a guy who's expiring contract in Marco Wilson, who I'm probably not going to retain unless I'm hoping I can trade him, but if not, he'll hit free agency. But Connor Woods back there, also seeing how the defense as a whole plays year 2. I bolstered the defensive line in free agency. So hopefully we'll do much better than I believe our 26th ranked rush defense. If we can pull that into the top 15 and still do like we did with pass defense last year, I think the Cardinals will be a solid defensive team. And if Kyler Murray can carry the load on offense and get us 24 to 30 points a game, we'll win a lot more games than we lose. At least we should. But that's it. I hate talking about myself. So let's flip over to a much better question, and that is, in your opinion, and both of these questions are pretty much the same thing. Austin Jackson and B2 The Rock both ask, the toughest division in the WFL. Well, let me go to the homepage here and let me take a look-see at our divisions, and I'm gonna shrink it down back a little bit. I think the toughest division, honestly, if you go based on last year, obviously we lost an owner last year, who is no longer with us. We have a new Bucks owner. The NFC South was really tough last year. All the teams finished above 500. And unfortunately, I think 2 of them had to sit at home for the playoffs. The NFC as a whole is a beast of divisions. I think, though, probably the toughest division is this year is probably going to be the NFC East. You've got Clyde, who's a perennial playoff contender. and a solid user, probably one of the top 5-6 users in this league. You've got T. Hoove, who I've seen do very well with Cleveland, and then when he swapped over to the Eagles, I think he had some real life stuff come up to where he couldn't quite devote as much time as he wanted to the Eagles. But I think if he's plugged in, I know he's good because he was winning with the Browns before he moved. You've got Waffles, who was just the NFC champ. I mean, he was only in the WFL Bowl just last year. And then unfortunately, Johnny is just kind of the odd man out. He's spunky and he's got a lot of heart, but he doesn't have a lot of skill at this point. Hopefully, an off season of kind of building that team more to his liking will help. But I think pound for pound, the top 3 in that division are toe-to-toe can go with anybody. Any one of those guys could make it as an NFC champ, and I would not be surprised at all. I think also another kind of honorable mention as I scroll through divisions here, probably going to be based on user base. I would probably say maybe I'll say the AFC East. I'll say the AFC East because I think Miami, I think the B2, I think he's figuring out WFL, and I think he'll have a much better year too, especially with a new quarterback under center. DePerot made it to the Final Four and gave the Colts a run for their money before he was ultimately put away. Meek Boy's always a tough out who got beat by the Jets, but he's a tough out. And Austin Jackson, even though he may not be the greatest user, he is a good user, and he will surprise you if you're not careful. If you kind of take him for granted, he will win a game on you and surprise you before you know it. So don't sleep on the Patriots and Austin Jackson. So from top to bottom, that's a dangerous division. I know I kind of poo-pooed on Dallas a little bit and Johnny, but Johnny can win some games as well. But that's a tough division from the standpoint of the other 3 guys. I think NFC East, and I'd put the East as the beasts. I mean, NFC South, we got to see how Barats and the Bucks are, but I think for my money, I'd go for the Easts, both sides, NFC and AFC, as our toughest divisions in the WFL. I think honestly, the NFC as a whole is just a dog-eat-dog conference. Not to take anything away from the AFC guys, but because they just won the Super Bowl, as I know Juke will point out whenever I get to this point in the video. Juke will kindly point out that, with the Colts won the WFL Bowl. They had pick 32 as he was joking most of the draft show. But I think the NFC is just a slugfest. There's so many good users in the NFC. And God, why did I pick the NFC? Just because the Cardinals were bad. That's the only reason. But yeah, that pretty much does it for Ask the Chiefs segment. Now comes the part you've probably been waiting for since I've been babbling. That's the surprise portion. And I'm going to reveal it here in just a second. All right, so that's a terrible jump cut, but here it is. Cly has so generously donated some time to basically create a draft randomizer spreadsheet for us, which essentially has some weighted probability for all the different types of draft class choices you have based on the position. I'm going to show you how it works real quick I'm going to have to scroll down a little bit. I'm going to have to maybe shrink this a little bit. I made the font kind of big for this. Let me see. Let me bring it back in and see. Okay. So I'm going to break it down to 10 just so you can see how the board works. But essentially what you do is all you have to do is click this refresh button, and you can see all the draft class strengths adjust based on just a click of a button. And as I click, everything changes around. The most common answer is normal. Probability wise, I think it's like 68% out of 100 it's going to be normal, with a variance of like 13% for the strong and weak, and then like a 2% or 3% chance for very strong or very weak. We don't have a limitation on very strong, very weak. We could have all of these be very strong, although it's highly unlikely. I'm just kind of clicking through just to show you what all we could possibly have as possibilities. We are going to do the draft randomizer this year, and this is not what the finals answer is going to be. I'm just showing you just to show you how the buttons work and everything, because I'm going to do on live, as I'm going to do is I'm going to cover all these up, and we are all going to find out together. I'm going to click this 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our draft class for next year, so this is going to be put in as soon as this video is recorded. I'm going to hop on the console and I'm going to plug all these values in. So for week 1, for this season, season 7, this is going to be our draft class strength setup. At the quarterback position, we will have a normal quarterback class. So there will be no special quarterbacks. There will be the normal chance for a solid or up talent quarterback. Running backs, they will be normal as well. So far, we're sticking with normal throughout. Really hope that this reveal isn't all normal, but we'll see. Wide receivers, we're going to have a normal draft class of wide receivers. Now, again, I did not look at this before I finished running the 5, so I don't know what's going on with this. Tight ends, they're going to be normal as well. So we're going to have normal tight ends. So far, not an exciting reveal, but let's get to tackles. This is offensive tackles, and they will be normal as well. Interior offensive line will be normal as well. Defensive ends will be normal as well. This is not going to be exciting if they're all normal. If it's all normal, I will do a redo, by the way, guys. Reset, normal. Can we have anybody be strong or weak? Can we get the linebackers? They are weak. So we have a weak linebacker core coming into this draft. And then reset, normal for corners. Normal for safeties. Normal for kickers. And normal for punters. Weak for punters. Okay. So I'm going to make an executive decision. That's crap. So ignore all of that. We're going to do this one more time. We're going to cover it back up. And I'm going to spin the wheel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Let's see if this one's official. I want at least one position to be strong. One position. I don't care which one. I just want one of them to be strong. And then I will lock in whatever this is. So quarterbacks. Normal. Running backs. Strong. Okay, so this class will be put in the system. So the running back class will be strong next year. Wide receivers will also be strong. Okay, so offense. You need offense. This is the time to get it. Tight ends. Normal. Tackles. Normal. Interior offensive line. Normal. Defensive ends. Weak. So definitely not a year to pick up defensive ends. Interior defensive line, also weak. So definitely not the year to pick up defense. Very strong linebackers, though. Okay. So we're going to have a crop of linebackers. So if you're looking for a linebacker, this is the draft to get them. Normal corners. Normal safeties. And punters are strong. Or kickers, excuse me, are strong. And punters are normal. So when I get out of this, this will be the official draft class randomizer as far as setting the strength of our next upcoming draft. So if you're looking for running backs or wide receivers or linebackers or kickers for some reason, this will be the draft to start getting those picks accumulated. If you're not looking for that and you're looking for basically defensive line, including ends, this is probably not the draft to look for those. So if you feel like you need those, maybe stay away from this draft. Everything else is going to be normal Madden normals. So there we go. That is going to be our draft class randomizer setup for season 7. I will be setting it in game shortly. If you watch the first one was crap. The second one I just dropped with the very strong and strongs will be the one that'll get plugged in. So I hope you enjoyed that little draft reveal. That was the end of the show. So I'm going to end the show as well. Thank you for tuning in and watching this show, whether you're doing it, whether you're watching it live or watching it after the fact. By live, I mean whenever I set it up to broadcast, premiere. Whenever you watch it, we appreciate it. The WFL appreciates it. Thank you. Hope you're entertained by the show. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, let us know comments and feedback. Any feedback, good or bad, is appreciated, guys. Next Monday, the show will be live. Probably at the normal time frame of the 6 o'clock, but it might have a special time. It will be live, however. So anybody that wants to tune in will be able to tune in and respond to it in Discord, just like we did for the draft show. So thank you again. I'm Coach Winuvas, one of the leadership team in the WFL, and the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And until next Monday, when the live show comes back, the corner is closed.